Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Brian with Mountain Iron and Timber. Wanted to give you a quick update here and show you what's going on here. In this video, I will explain TYM and they lawyered up. Interesting approach they've taken. I'll kind of give my thoughts on it. I'll read you the communication that I have from TYM, and then we'll kind of go through, just some opinions, and I'll try to break down as best I can with my limited knowledge. So, with TYM, if this is your first time joining my channel, thanks for being here. This is the fourth video that I've made on this. Fourth video in this series about TYM and, I guess for lack of a better term, what they've done with my issue. Going way back to the beginning of this series, I made a video about how my tractor is acting up, it's making noises, it's doing this, it's doing that. So I took it to the dealer. 8 months later, here we are. You can look at those other videos. Those are on the same channel. What I will say is how do I want to put this? The lack of responsiveness, I guess I would say, is probably the hardest thing for me in all of this. I understand that TYM is a large company. They have bigger, better things to do than deal with me. But again, we're at 8 months. I mean, or pretty close to 8 months. February 4th was the date that tractor was taken in, and it is September 13th. I've owned this tractor for right around 2 years, and in this 2-year time frame, I don't have the exact number off the top of my head, but it is, I want to say it's right around 24% of that time this tractor has been at a TYM dealer. That kind of creates much bigger issues. So what I did was I wrote them a formal letter, not my attorney. I wrote them a formal letter, and this letter kind of basically says, look, you guys have my machine. I'm turning this in as Magnus and Moss, and I want you to buy me out of the tractor. It was very professional. It was short. It was brief. I actually read that in a previous video to this. So if you haven't seen that, you might want to check it out. As I'm kind of going through all of this, and as I'm reading through these things from TYM, I want you to know I am not by any means telling you, your tractor is bad if you have one, or you should change that, or even that you should not buy a TYM. That's not by any means my goal in any of this. I've had a couple of, we'll call it interesting comments that have been made, even a couple of videos. And what happens is I didn't tell anybody what to buy. As a matter of fact, I did the exact opposite of that and specified I'm not telling you what to buy or not to buy. I've never done that. What I am doing, though, is I'm trying to inform people on this. Because if you fall into that same pit or that same trap of YouTube and seeing all of the larger YouTube channels on there doing their thing with their equipment, and you're like, hey, if they're doing it, maybe I should. I fell into that same trap, and now what's happened is I haven't had a machine, and we're going on 8 months. So it's been quite the journey on all this stuff. And what I'm trying to do here is, again, I'm not trying to influence a decision. All I'm trying to do is make you aware of the possibility of when you buy one of these machines, or if you do, you have this distinct possibility. I'm living proof of this, that when that machine breaks, you're going to go a long, long time without any resolution. Now, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's that bad dealer that I'm at, or maybe it's this, maybe it's... Okay, I'll give you that. That's possible. What about the I think right now I'm at like 750 comments on these 3 videos, and that's just on YouTube. That's not including anything on Facebook. Right around that 750 mark for comments, and I would be willing to bet that not less than a third of them are people saying the exact same thing. that TYM's had my tractor for X amount of months and I'm waiting on this or that, it's nuts. I understand that this video may be hurting that handful of good TYM dealers out there. I get that, and I'm sorry that this affects you in a negative way. I've had a couple of them contact me as well. Here's my point. Why should I pay the price, and why should I be without a machine for 8 months so that way you can have a great reputation? No. So what I'm here to do is basically make you aware of a situation that I have been put into by TYM. A situation I didn't want to be here. It's like, do you think I wanted this to make this video or whatever? No. This is the 4th video. I'm at roughly 40,000 views on the first 3 and right around 700 comments. So, and again, I never asked anybody for views. I never asked anybody for sharing or for comments or thumbs up. I never asked for any of that. Matter of fact, in the first video that I ever made, if you go back and watch that, I actually very specifically say, I don't want you to share this. I don't want you to thumbs up. I don't want you to comment. I don't want any of that. I'm just here to let you know what's happened to me. Magically, all of a sudden, that video just blew up. So where I'm at with all of this is, let's get into this and let me show you where I'm at with TYM. All right, so right here, you can see this letter that I received from the TYM attorney. Hold on, let me strike that. Let me reverse that. This is not a TYM attorney, and I'm going to get into that part here in a minute. And then Mr., my last name. I am legal counsel to TYM North America. I am in receipt of your letter seeking a buyback of a TYM 574 HST tractor. I am looking into this claim and the issues involved, but I will need a couple of weeks to complete the investigation. I will be in touch with you shortly. This is Stacy A. Carroll. He is the Carroll Law Firm. Stacy is a he. He is the Carroll Law Firm. He's located in Roswell, Georgia. I used to live in Woodstock, Georgia, and I also used to live in Marietta, Georgia. Both of those actually border Roswell. Never met this guy. Probably wouldn't want to either way. But nevertheless, where I'm at is TYM has brought in outside counsel to try to handle this. Here's my thoughts on that. A multinational, publicly traded company worth, I've never looked, tens of billions, hundreds of billions, I don't know. TYM's a big company. So a multinational, publicly traded business does not have inside counsel. I don't know if you buy that. I don't. They have inside counsel. And I could be wrong. Maybe I am. But I'm pretty confident that they do. So I'm not going to go into my background a long ways, but just to kind of give you a 30,000 foot overview of me. I didn't fall off the turnip truck yesterday and end up on top of a mountain surrounded by equipment and blah, blah, blah. As much as I wish I could say that was my life, that wasn't. I actually worked for a very large company, considerably larger than TYM. I was on top of that corporate chain. I wasn't CEO, but I was a couple desks from it. And what happens in that environment, in my experience, I'm not saying this is what TYM is doing, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of why they would do it this way, because I'm certain I'll get this question in the comments. So I'm just trying to, explain it. A multinational corporation like this, such as TYM, again, I can't swear to this, but I'm pretty confident they have in-house counsel. The reason why they farm this out to law firms is because they don't want this on their books. Here's what I mean by that. So when your CFOs, which by the way, that's who's running TYM now, because there is no CEO. So when your CFO is going through all this stuff and they're looking at on their financials and on their ledgers and on their everything else, here's what happens. If their in-house attorneys handle this, it all has to be documented. It all has to be in the notes. It all has to be in the disclosures. You have to know all of it, okay? So that's why they don't want their people to handle this. But if they bring in outside counsel to handle this, do you know what shows up on a financial ledger? Legal. That's it. That's the entire explanation of the line item. And in a meeting somewhere, somebody's like, yeah, that was a slip and fall at a dealership. Yeah, that was a permitting issue. Yeah, that we had to buy a building. Yeah, we had some issues when we bought this chunk of land or whatever it is. It's just legal, and then it's glazed over. Nobody pays that much attention to it. But if it is their in-house counsel, that brings on a whole different set of circumstances, and it all has to be outlined. It all has to be reviewed. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I've been on the TYM side of this at timer 25. I mean, I understand that part of it. I get the game that's being played here. I'm told that I'm a little bit paranoid about this. I don't think I am. Maybe I am. And if I am, I will gladly eat my words. If I am wrong about this, by all means, I will make a video to you guys and I'll say, look, I said this and I was wrong and here is why and X, Y, Z. I don't think I have to worry about making that video, so I'm not exactly rehearsing for that now. What I can tell you is with TYM, I'm pretty confident I know the direction that this is going, based off of interactions that I've had with some folks and based off of a couple of things. And again, I could be wrong. I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to overstate my knowledge on this, but I feel pretty confident. I know what I know and I know what I've been through. And I feel like I know what they're up to, I guess is the best way I can put it without going too far into it. So we'll see how that works out. And like I said, if it works out in my favor, by all means, I'll be happy to share that video. I'll be happy to share that information with you guys. But I'm not saying it's not favorable to me. I'm just saying I'm pretty sure I know what they're trying to do at this point. So we'll see how that works out. What I also want to do is let you know, again, this is video number 4 of this series that I've had to make. Unfortunately, this isn't exactly what I wanted my YouTube channel to be known for, griping about a company and their machine. I don't know. I guess that's kind of it, though. The big thing to keep in mind, again, I'm not here to influence you. I'm not here to tell you. I'm not here to tell you what to do or what to buy or how to do it or how to buy it. What I'm here to tell you is my personal experience. And I understand that my experience has hurt that handful of decent TYM dealers that are out there. And there are decent TYM dealers out there, don't get me wrong. But the problem is you don't know if you end up with a bad one, or if you move, or if you relocate, or whatever you want to call that. You bought your TYM from the greatest dealer in the country, and then you moved 2 states, or 3 states, or across the country, and this is what you're left with. I know that TYM does have a pretty big presence in the Southeast. Out west here, they're kind of few and far between. I'm not trying to influence what you do or how you do it or where you do it. I'm just telling you that if you go down this route, what you need to make sure that you look at is parts availability, parts availability, parts availability. If for any reason you have any question about that being a possibility, it's not a matter of if a machine breaks. They all break. I mean, this tree farmer here, this thing, my dozer, my excavator, my skids, they all break. Everything breaks. It's not a question of good quality, bad quality. It's not that at all. They all break. I mean, this is Caterpillar and John Deere. That's a link belt. I mean, 3 of the most iconic names in the history of the country, and they've all broken at some point in time or another. Everything breaks that's mechanical, but the difference is it's a matter of can you get the parts. Apparently, I don't know. I'm roughly 8 months into this and still asking that question. Can I get the parts?